Impressionism was an art movement that emerged during the 1860s, initially as an extension of realism. Suddenly, painters started setting up their easels outside and painted what they could directly perceive. It was quite radical at the time, and because of this, the Impressionists were often mocked and barred from the prestigious Paris Salon. Most Impressionist artists such as Claude Monet and Pierre-Auguste Renoir had to scrape by to make ends meet for many years. I already mentioned this in my video about Bal du Moulin de la Galette, but there was a time when Renoir had to eat beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Although the movement started in the 1860s, it only got its name much later. It was coined after the title of one of Monet's paintings completed in 1874, which was titled Impression Sunrise. It's hard to see, but this rather unremarkable painting depicts a morning view of the port of Monet's native Le Havre, a city in the western part of France. Luckily for the likes of Renoir and Monet, there were admirers as well, who ensured they could continue to fully focus on their art. Gustave Caillebotte is a very interesting figure who played a major role in the development of Impressionism during the second half of the 19th century. He was born on August 19, 1848, into an upper-class Parisian home, and although he lived a trouble-free life, he suffered from severe hypochondria. In 1876, his younger brother René died, and this instilled the idea in his mind that he would die young as well. Unfortunately for him, this thought materialized as he died in 1894 at the age of 45. Caillebotte was a painter himself, and although he hung out with the Impressionists, he was highly interested in photography, and this shows in his paintings. I have to admit that I actually like his work. Just look at how he painted a gloomy, rainy day in Paris, and these French laborers working on a wooden floor. His style can be compared to that of Edouard Manet, the painter who formed the bridge between realism and Impressionism. Because he inherited a lot of money from his parents, he was able to purchase paintings from his friends. This was highly important because the Impressionists didn't have a lot of fans in the beginning. Caillebotte even temporarily paid for Monet's studio so the world-famous French painter could solely focus on his art. It paid off well because now Monet's paintings sell for millions of dollars and can be admired in museums all around the world. Another important notion about Caillebotte is that he also helped his friends set up the initial Impressionist exhibitions. Without his funding, it's likely that the Impressionists would have simply faded into obscurity. At the time of his death, Gustave Caillebotte owned 68 Impressionist paintings, including 19 pieces by Pissarro, 14 by Monet, and 10 by Renoir. Although it didn't help him during his lifetime, his hypochondria did have a positive result as he already made his will while he was still in his 20s. In it, he stipulated that his entire collection of paintings should be displayed publicly after he passed away. He knew how to draft a will as Caillebotte was also a licensed lawyer who earned a law degree in 1868. His great friend Renoir became the executioner of his will, and he managed to make an arrangement with the French government. It wasn't easy because academic art was still dominating the scene during the final decade of the 19th century. Following a legal battle that lasted about 2 years, 38 paintings from his collection were displayed at the Luxembourg Palace in Paris in 1896. This small set of paintings became the first Impressionist paintings to be publicly displayed in a permanent collection in France. Yes, the importance of Gustave Caillebotte in art history can't be underestimated, that's for sure.